Morning, everybody. Gonna do these a little quicker. It is January 27th, 7:22. 8 minutes before a news event. So while I'm talking, we may see some action, but I'm not going to be doing no trades. I want to get through the processes again. Keep rinse and repeat and having these videos every day on the 10 markets that we spoke about yesterday on the 26th. Just kind of prep up and look for levels that we're going to try to implement, right? So again,
Sell stop ESH free CME.
We do this every day. We're going to be able to have a consistent plan of action. Okay. So today we're looking at S&P. One of the things, let's just go ahead and bring that up here. In about a few minutes, we have this core price index. It's a red event. It will move the markets for a bit. And then follow at the top of the hour, half an hour after the open pending home sale. You'll see some liquidity dropping over there. It's going to cause a fast move and jolt. From then on, should be smooth sailing, but it is Friday, so just be wary of equities. You have options expiry, and if there's still any earnings going on, you have noise there. Yesterday we had a big rally up right up to this weekly swing. This swing level's been drawn up here for ages. People I talked to personally said 40.76, and that's where it just stayed. Opened up with a small gap, so expect that overnight gap could be filled up, tested again. Do we go break to the tops or downs? I don't know. But point is, whatever it does, get the best level and make your good risk reward move. One of the things I noticed, let's move here down to Nasdaq, is where Nasdaq is right up here at the top too. All night, kind of just sideways, kind of nastiness. If you were up during Europe, I mean, you had scalping, but it's not my preference to scalp in slower market. I want momentum. Anyway, what we have here on the daily is when price came into this area, into these couple of the monthly and this little small weekly swing here. In fact, actually, this whole range here, what was my point on this one? I'm sorry, let's talk about above here. My guess is if we break up above this 12,065, we were in here back in August and September. A couple of times where swift price action happened through here very fast. So it's a price that's not, for some reason, between the 686 and 064 gets a lot of momentum. Many days up and down, big days, followed by a few little pullback small days. But most of the days coming in here is with massive momentum. I mean, again here when we had this big December 13th with a big reversal candle again. When it came into this territory, it just was lacking desire to trade in here. I mean, look, if you look at a macro level 200 MA too, it came real close to it, where it might mean something significant to different type of traders. So again, coming in through here and barreling over and above this, it can get a big lot of action a day is possible, and it could be leaned on because of it. Nasdaq. VIX is at lows now, so does that mean that, in lows, what I mean, right in relative, right, since COVID, 18, back in the days, 18 was high, and your lows was down in, 13s, 14s, 15s, so is there move still to go down and have, in other words, going down, meaning uncorrelated market, the ES or the equities will be going up? It can. So this is kind of something you want to watch and see. What is VIX really doing? Of course, ends up being hindsight too, because it's doing it as everything's moving. But just be cognizant. Hey, look, we're down at like 1898, 19. Going upwards could be a down day for equities. Going down more this way, which again, what's the chances? So we do have room. We can go down there. Anyway, just something to be aware of. Going into the agricultural markets, soybean, as we spoke yesterday, it was kind of in the mid here, but it had a 20-point move, and it went up, tested down a little bit in the 17s. I was watching it. It was too late to grab anything. Guys, with the agriculture, there is great potential to be a little diverse there intraday because it pays good. The margins are well. A lot of your eval.
Stop ESH free CME.
Your PA accounts that are out there, or your personal live accounts, your sim accounts to study and learn on, they price well, they move well. We had a 20-point run on soybeans yesterday, and again, they respect levels pretty well. So we try to pick the highest liquidity ones Soybean meal, soybean oil as well, and I'm going to talk about it in a second. It has the volume. Soybean oil less, but it moves, and the tick sizes are slightly smaller, but they're movers, so you can make with the one lot pretty good gain. That might make up or add into your other portfolio gains or losses for the day. We mentioned soybean meal yesterday was kind of, again, not in a great spot, but wanted to see if it challenged this monthly swing, and broke out with momentum, and it was a big move, or if it was going to turn back down. So if you were just watching it, you had a good amount of 5 point to play over there. With soybean oil, when we discussed this yesterday, we were over here, we made a nice rally up while we were talking, and it reversed and just closed down. So it wasn't much action probably intraday, and it's attempting to kind of do that again today. Almost same pattern, a little indecisiveness, but be careful with soybean oil, because soybean oil, when it moves, the sucker will move. Look at some of the past history. I mean, there's cash flow to make there. If this thing takes off, look to take profits around 63.27s. It's going to slow down there. There's a lot of volumes hit there before. If it breaks on lower, look for 56s. Here's the deal. We are at all-time highs on grains because everything that's going on, but you could still trade the price action intraday with these little levels because they're clean. Yeah, soybean oil used to be back in the days like, this is an abnormal pricing because, again, geopolitics, right? Anything regarding this stuff right now, back in the days, so look where we had the problems starting early 2021 with the Russia-Ukraine, and, being that a lot of soybean product, big supplier coming from out of UK, average pricing was down in the 20s and 30s. So this is, we're at a time. These are monthly bars, very wide. But again, look, we're at a bottom here on a monthly level right now. Potential to, make another low test down here this way, which is far away on a monthly, or turn back around and head on up. So, possible downside move. Let's look at the markets, what we're doing pre-market, very slight selling. With grains, they close 40.
Buy stock ESH3CME. Buy stock ESH3CME. Absorption ESH3CME buyers at 40.66. Sell stock ESH3CME. Buy stock ESH3CME. Iceberg ESH3CME buy at 4,058.5. Sell stock ESH3CME. Buy stock ESH3CME.
And there was your basically big economic event there. Big wide move. Anyways, let's continue. So, there's the meal and the oil. On the wheat, was a good move up yesterday. Again, out of these daily swings, the daily swings are not as strong as obviously weeklies and monthlies, but we wanted to I found, as I draw my lines, I put them in there on the shorter, the most latest swings. So what we're looking at here is potentially, if this thing continues to sell, where could we hold up? 40, that's about 6 points, and then another 6 points down to the downside. So there's enough room this way to target some points if this continues to sell. We want to watch, see what happens at the open. I was saying that grains close 45 minutes before the open. Okay, they do trade a little later. They open at Asian session, but they open around a few hours after Globex opens on equities and bonds, and then they close about 45 minutes before the U.S. cash open, and they'll close around 1:20, 1:30ish p.m. Central Time. Everything I'm talking to you guys is about Central CME time. So I don't like to be stuck in a trade before they open back for cash, because then they do all kind of magic Houdini tricks. Just wait and see what happens and go from there. Corn. So here, as you see, it's moving. It's going to shut down here in about 15 more minutes, and then it'll reopen. So corn here bounced again right off of this weekly swing that we have down here, and which is this right here on the daily, right here, our 678. Want to just see what that does. If we get a continuation down, you just got to watch these major levels you build that you took your time and build one time, like in our videos where we show how to build that. And take action on there. See if there's room from one swing to another for it to be worth your while. Yeah, corn is going to probably be the more boring one out of them all, But guess what? Sometimes boring is good, especially when making money on equities could be a little tough. You know, do you want a smooth sailing way to make 5 points, or a hard long day to just end up 5 points on top of ES, because, you know, making up for all the stop outs? So, you know, this thing could become it's usually a one-way road usually, and the price expansion on them is not brutal. We're looking at a 5-minute chart here. It looks pretty hairy, but if I bring it down, these are two to 3 point legs. You know, if you went 2 lots on corn and got 3 points, you're up 6 points. That's $300 total, $50 a point. So there's opportunities here where I think people are not exploring as much. Anyway, crude oil, again, didn't update these lines like I wanted to. It was a busy day for me yesterday as well. Where are we standing here on crude? We're at the top of just this little, like, these daily swings here. We have probably a larger monthly swing up here that I didn't mark off with what that is. It looks like from the thickness it is. So, you know, can we just watch this one closely? I'm not going to get into what I think it can do. It can break up and hit 83s. If it breaks out hard above this 83.72, just look for longs up here. It's not going to be a big gain. If anything, look for reversals down or longs from these levels. Crude oil has been playing in this range not as respectfully as some of the ranges below and some of these bigger, wider ranges above. Okay, if you're swing trading, yeah, you can ride some of these wider swings. If you're day trading, you'd have to make some more daily swings within in here. That's why I say I have to redo my crude oil lines, because since I made the new system here, like on how to mark these and tag them in your our trading view, so we know what these are: monthly swing, weekly swing, and some daily swings. Then you can come in and you'll have more swings in here, more shorter targets for intraday, and it works. They work pretty well. Gold, I never filled up anything. I expect gold to maybe, if the markets keep going up bullish, you know, expect gold to start coming off of most its highs off in the last 9 months. So, but anyway, not going to get too much into gold. I'm not going to get into crypto at this moment. Using the DXY, we just want to look at, you know, again, for correlation reasons, how it's reacting relative to the markets. You know, these are supposed to be uncorrelated to each other. One does one, the other is going to do the other. If you're watching Forex and, you know, watching DXY, the other pairs to trade, some kind of different currency. So you could use this DXY index as leverage to play maybe your currencies, go long or short, because everything here for the majors is against our mighty dollar. In the bond market yesterday, I swear as we spoke, it was very interesting. We were down here probably around this 130.07, 130.06, and I said watch for longs when it gets over here. As I sent the video out and I'm loading it, it literally just shot up this way. By the time I was done loading the video and the market's open, it shot right on back down. And it was this move here. It was this move here, opened up, market opened an hour later, that moved down, and another. I mean, it just was given clean moves, but then you have to just sit there with ZB all day. And you get a little tied up mid-morning, actually just at the open into the late morning, and then a couple of nice swings up. I want to talk about real quick about that. I know somebody said, hey, if we can drop the range bars for a Ninja Trader, this is it. I'll drop it in yesterday's video as well. This is also the range bars I'll use for our algo. I'm not going to get I don't want to talk too much algo in the pre-market prep on these markets, but here's the range bars. Here's a conservative Gaussian logic. We're using 330 for the faster entries. I'm not going to get into what preferred EMA and VWAP filters I use. Our VQS, quick strike algo that we have, the simple basic trend following algo we put on these charts on NinjaTrader 8, okay, has a few extra user-defined tools. Now, what that means is it's up to you. I'm always constantly changing too, and it depends on each market and their price expansion, because I don't want to lose an opportunity. What the tools are is basically a VWAP filter and then a user-defined 200 moving average. Not all your charts will come looking like this, because I don't give you templates that just I automatically looks like mine. You have to build yours to look close to mine and change your colors or whatever. Point is though, is the logic is what the strategy is looking for. So if you wanted shorts only under a VWAP and under the moving average, this is just the Gaussian line, and you can remove that if you want it there. But that's what's gonna pick up your extra filters. These are filters just so you don't take extra trades that you shouldn't be taking, perhaps. That's it. That's all it is, and that's up to you. So yeah, pretty much, because what can happen again is sometimes, especially on stuff that expands like ES during the day, I mean, if you were only longs above 200, you don't need the VWAPs. See, look, we're already VWAP is way down here. But sometimes you may want to be a mean reversion and take a sell down. Well, if you wanted to take a sell end of the day, which this is too late anyway, this was the close, but just as a hypothetical visual example, and you had a 200 EMA filter on, you're not going to take that, it's not going to take the short regardless because your filter is on. So you have to turn it off or maybe put on something even smaller like a 20, okay, to be safe. So that's why I tell people it's all up to you. You have to play with it and figure out how you want it. What's your preference? If you're wanting to be trend trading big time on the side of the trend, or you want to be taking almost every trade that there is, that's going to be based on the filters you use here, whether you check off VWAP or you check off EMA filter, and then you also set that. Okay. Anyway, that's that. I'll load this up in the comment section, and then I'll load it up in yesterday's video. Another thing for equities, I want you guys to be aware. I'm not just some. When it comes to equities, I use a lot of different things. All right, tomorrow I'll start turning off these alerts from Bookmap, okay? Because I also trade at Bookmap and I work there a few hours a day. Anyway, market internals, I'm not going to get into what they are in this video. If you use these, God damn it, I can't even access it right now because it moved off monitors. Just bear with me on that, guys. Alerts with Bookmap. All right, those are iceberg and stop alerts. Rhythmic data provides it through what's called MBO data. I pay for a separate one at Bookmap and have the Bookmap Global Plus, and then I also work there a few hours a day from 8 a.m. to 11 Central. Yes, during the peak hours of trading. Anyway, with the market internals that I have here on my trading view, this is a tool that Shadow Trader created. It's a advanced weighted it's a weighted advanced decline line, and what it's doing is it's measuring the difference with the histogram from the heavy weighted S&P stocks to this little line, which is the smaller weighted. Every month the S&P rebalances and it reweights the largest sectors, the smallest sectors. So it's a combine of all the different sectors in the S&P, from construction to medical to real estate to tech, okay, to all that stuff, and it weights them, and so we can find correlation in them or divergences in them, and usually that ends up keeping you out of trouble. That's one, and then there's other cumulative stuff. I have this tool that I had got a while back, and I use it. My IRA's in that account, so but I just turn it on and I use it for assessing. If I'm trading equity, I want to know, am I trading with divergences? For example, sometime Nasdaq up here versus the S&P could be diverged. I don't like trading that when they're trading against each other. So they have to have confluence. So I look for things in the internals to make sure that, there's a possible shift in what, sellers thought is selling, when that shift at that time of that day is in total volume, all the buying in the stock market, and additionally also where the weight is, and if there's confluence in them, when the cumulative changes to positive. And then I know I have all this double, triple confirmation along with my chart setups. Then I can get in a big map and all that and find, the best entries. Even then, you don't need that. Just be cognizant again here of your macro time frame, like we talk about every day. Come in here, set yourself up, and then just wait. And so whatever that news event was that just happened, whatever was the results, it didn't really rock the markets that crazy. 10-point little swing. Now it's restabilized, and we're right back up here to start our day. Okay, we have about a good, by the time I push this video out, half an hour before the market opens. I'd say wait and see what it does. If you find it at a peak, if you find we're testing these highs, I have our prior day high, our settle price. Our low was way down at 27s, so which was way down here on my daily chart. Look to just stay on the side of the trend, and if there is going to be one, it'll be still a little crazy again, being Friday with OPEC. So look at different OPECs, meaning option expiry. Again, I'll leave you guys with this. Be open-minded with these other markets. Potentially, crude is a little loose. But you have good moves there, and that can usually make up some... this last week, crude oil made up some of my losses on S&P. So I like being diverse myself. Anyway, guys, everybody have a good day. I'm going to get back over here to work. And... you guys have an excellent weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday. These are the markets. This is what we're looking at. Let's top off one more time on ZB so you guys can see. Sold off here because whatever that news event made a little line and above this daily swing, and it's just looking bullish again. And sure enough, lo and behold, here you go. We hit yesterday's low, and then we're coming up against some resistance here at 130. But these are moves that can make your day, and sometimes make 2 days for you and be one and done. And these are even before market opens when you have these events. But just wait until you get to these areas that just scream at you on the macro level, and that's how you use them intraday. Okay, and then it can save you out of getting into multiple headache plays. It can save a ton of you having to make up the rest of the day on starting your day with a loss. We all know how that is. And going through that rigmarole. So all right, guys, have a good weekend. See you back here Monday, and we'll discuss more. We're going to get quicker and quicker on just doing our analysis, looking at our levels. Okay, so these are mutual kind of levels here, nothing, no secret, and then so you'll know what to look for. All right, bye-bye.